From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Anne Nwawodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, EFCC announces landmark arrest of 729 suspects in one fell swoop for offences bordering on cryptocurrency investment fraud and romance scam. Supreme Court imposes 5 million naira fine on the former presidential candidate of Hope Democratic Party, Ambrose Owuru, for harassing President Bola Tinubu with frivolous and vexatious suit. The President Bola Tinubu moves budget presentation to Wednesday, 18th December 2024, as National Assembly considers decision. And at least 1,000 people are feared dead on French island territory in the Indian Ocean following cyclone wind speeds of 140 meters per hour.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's headline inflation rate climbs back above 34% in November, reaches new 28-year high amid skyrocketing costs of food and transportation.
On sports, Super Eagles and Atalanta forward Ademola Lookman wins CAF Player of the Year in a lively ceremony held in Marrakesh, Morocco.
And from Abuja, the nation's capital, Kaduna state government receives repentant bandits in Giwa local government area of the state under its non-kinetic initiative.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, has announced the landmark arrest of a total number of 792 suspects in one fell swoop for offences bordering on cryptocurrency investment fraud and romance scam. The EFCC's Director of Public Affairs, Wilson Owajarin, who briefed journalists at the Commission's office in Lagos today, said the suspects were apprehended on Tuesday, December the 10th, 2024, in a surprise operation at their hideout, an imposing 7-story edifice known as Big Leaf Building on number 7 Oyinjolayemi Street on Victoria Island, Lagos. According to him, the breakthrough followed actionable intelligence and months of surveillance and monitoring the activities of syndicates. Among the foreigners arrested are 140 Chinese, 40 Filipinos, 2 Kazakhstans, and 1 Pakistani and 1 Indonesian.
Investigation established that the foreign nationals used that facility, the building I'm talking about, that is located at number 7 Oyinjolayemi Street, which anybody can mistake for the corporate headquarters of a financial institution. They used that building to train young Nigerians in the art of initiating romance and investment scam. And also, they used the identities of these Nigerians to perpetrate criminal activities. Indeed, all the floors in that building, 7-story building, all the floors are equipped with computers and other state-of-the-art gadgets. On the 5th floor of that building alone, we were able to recover 500 SIM cards of various local telcos. These were procured by these foreigners and given to Nigerians to use in cybercrime activities. Their Nigerian accomplices were recruited by the foreign kingpins to prospect for victims online through phishing, targeting mostly Americans, Canadians, Mexicans, and several others from European countries. They usually arm these young Nigerians with desktop computers, mobile devices, and create fake profiles for them. For those who show interest in this investment, activation fee for an account on that platform starts from $35 US. So far, our investigation has revealed that the criterion used by these Chinese and other foreign nationals used for recruiting young Nigerians into their nefarious activities is ability to use the computer, especially typing skills.
Let's head to the court now, where the Supreme Court has imposed a 5 million naira fine on a former presidential candidate, Ambrose Owuru, for harassing President Bola Tinubu with frivolous suit. Mr. Owuru, who contested the 2019 presidential election against former President Muhammadu Buhari on the platform of the Hope Democratic Party, was ordered to pay the 5 million naira to the president. Justice Owani Musa Abaji issued the order against former presidential candidate while dismissing his fresh suit, praying for the removal of Mr. Tinubu as Nigeria's president. Apart from the 5 million naira fine, the Apex Court ordered its registry not to accept any frivolous originating summons from Mr. Owuru again. At the day's proceedings, Owuru, who claimed to be a lawyer, called to the Nigerian bar in 1984, sought to argue his own case wearing a wig and a gown. The Court of Appeal had previously imposed a fine of 40 million naira on Mr. Owuru to be paid to Mr. Tinubu, INEC, and others for filing a suit against them. Mr. Owuru prayed the Supreme Court to invoke Section 157 of the 1999 Constitution to remove Mr. Tinubu from office on the grounds of being under the control of foreign authorities. He also asked the Supreme Court to declare him Nigeria's president and order his immediate inauguration to reclaim his alleged usurped mandate. And to the budget now. The Federal Executive Council has given final approval of a 2025 appropriation bill of 47,960 billion naira. This approval was given at the meeting of the council chaired by President Bola Tinubu at the State House, Abuja. Meanwhile, the National Assembly is considering a postponement of the presentation of the 2025 budget by President Tinubu from Tuesday, December the 17th to Wednesday, December the 18th, 2024. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris, disclosed this while briefing State House correspondents. Our State House correspondent, Empress Simon, reports.
President Bola Tinubu arrives at the council chamber of the State House to chair the last meeting of the Federal Executive Council for 2024. It has a full attendance of members of the President's cabinet. The meeting ends within a few hours after commencement, and some ministers briefed journalists on major resolutions reached, including the 2025 appropriation bill.
The Federal Executive Council approved the budget proposals for 2025 with amendments which Mr. President directed. The expenditure is projected at 47,960 billion, which is an increase of 36.8% from the 2024 estimate.
President Tinubu was billed to present the 2025 budget to the National Assembly on Tuesday. But how feasible is that?
That engagement is ongoing, and there is the possibility, if the National Assembly concurs, that we shift the budget presentation from tomorrow to the day after.
A second question that arises is how possible it is to achieve the one-year budget cycle, considering that only few days are left for the lawmakers to consider the bill before the end of 2024.
We can't prejudge the National Assembly, but we believe that the National Assembly will expeditiously consider, given the track record, given the confidence, given their sense of appreciation of the relationship with the executive, particularly with Mr. President. However, I need to say here that our constitution have always anticipated that even if a budget is not passed by the 31st of December, the executive can continue to incur expenditure.
Apart from the 2025 budget, FEC also approved the commencement of the Phase 1 of the Presidential Power Initiative, also known as the Siemens Project, which involves rehabilitation of 14 brownfield existing substations and the establishment of 23 new greenfield stations across the country.
The cost of this first batch of the Phase 1 of the Siemens Project that was approved this afternoon is 161 €328,228.
Meanwhile, FEC has passed a vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu for his leadership so far. The Federal Executive Council also approved the motion moved by President Bola Tinubu to rename the University of Abuja to Yakubu Gowon University in recognition of the contribution of the former military head of state to the growth of Nigeria. From the presidential villa, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
To infrastructure now, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has commissioned the Obafemi Dada Bridge, Yinka Folari Jamiu Lawal Shalom Academy networks of the roads in the Alimosho area of Lagos State. Speaking at the commissioning, Governor Sanwo-Olu says that these roads will improve socio-economic activities for the people of Alimosho local government area, as he assures all residents of the state of more roads to be commissioned in the course of next year.
Honorable members of the House of Assembly here present, members
of the formal inauguration of 5 new roads and bridge network in the Alimosho local government area of Lagos State.
Please, let's sit back. This chronicles the history of this network of roads.
Members of the communities in Alimosho, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and other state cabinet members, as well as dignitaries, gather for this event. It's a significant day for the people of Alimosho, and the traditional rulers are also here to witness the coming to pass of a promise made by the state government. The senator representing Lagos West Senatorial District commends the Sanwo-Olu administration on its infrastructure development.
They're so happy, they're so elated to see that you've been able to do this for them. And from what we heard in the documentary, it has not been very easy for them, the fact that they have to pay passing through this road. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for doing this for our people. They are so happy, they are so elated, and they thank you immensely for taking the initiative to construct this road. To all our leaders, please join me in thanking His Excellency and the Deputy Governor for this.
Just before the official commissioning, Governor Sanwo-Olu acknowledges the political relevance of the people of Alimosho, adding that the day's event is not just a road commissioning, but an affirmation to serve their needs.
Alimosho local government, by population, is the largest population in the whole of the country. Alimosho local government, by popular vote, is the largest delivery of votes in the country. Lagos East Senatorial, by population, is the largest in the country. To all of the great people of Alimosho, I want to thank you very much for your continuous support and your commitment with our government. And so you can see that this achievement certainly underscores this administration's resolve to back our words with action. For the good people of Alimosho, it's not just a road and a bridge. It is an affirmation of our commitment to building first-class infrastructure that serves your immediate and your long-term needs.
With the speeches over, it's time for the official commissioning of the Babafemi Dada Road with a bridge, as well as the Yinka Folari Jamiu Lawal and Shalom Academy Road Network.
In commemoration and commissioning of Babafemi Dada with bridge network, Yinka Folari Jamiu Lawal and Shalom Academy network of roads here in Alimosho today, Monday, 16th December 20.
In Alimosho local government area is expected to provide a shorter route for motorists connecting Lasuiba Road with Academy bus stop in Baroa community.
In part 2, after the break, Kaduna State Government receives repentant bandits in Giwa local government area of the state under its non-kinetic initiative. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting live on Channels Television from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. EFCC announces landmark arrest of 729 suspects in one fell swoop of offences bordering on cryptocurrency investment fraud and romance scam. Supreme Court imposes 5 million naira fine on a former presidential candidate of Hope Democratic Party, Ambrose Owuru, for harassing President Bola Tinubu with frivolous suit. The President's Bola Tinubu administration moves budget presentation to Wednesday, 18 December 2024, as National Assembly considers decision. And at least 1,000 people are feared dead on the French island territory of Mayotte in the Indian Ocean for 140 kilometers per hour. We head to Rivers State now, where the government has continued its ongoing project inauguration series with the commissioning of a 7-kilometer ring road with 3 bridges in Opobo, the town of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. During the ceremony, Governor Fubara expressed gratitude to the people for their support and reaffirmed his own dedication to addressing their needs. The project was officially commissioned by the Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal, who lauded this initiative, emphasizing that such developments resonate with the vision of driving socio-economic growth through strategic infrastructure investments in the state.
After 2 weeks of touring various parts of Rivers State for project inaugurations and flag-offs, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has returned to his hometown, Opobo, in Opobo Nkoro local government area, to carry out a similar task. The event doubles as a homecoming celebration as residents roll out the drums to receive their son. His mission today is to commission the completed 7-kilometer ring road with 3 bridges, with the governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, as special guest.
Established.
The Commissioner for Works provides a detailed explanation of the project specifications.
Let me welcome our special guest of honor to Opobo Kingdom for this event, for the commissioning of Opobo Ring Road in Opobo Nkoro local government area. This road is a 7-kilometer road. It is 7.3 meters wide and has 3 bridges.
Impressed with the governor's performance in office, the council chairman and other stakeholders urged Governor Fubara to heed the call to seek re-election in 2027.
Your Excellency, the good people of Nkoro local government have asked me to tell you that in all you have been doing for us, that the message is very simple, that wherever you go, that will go with you. Whatever thing they ask us to do, we will do it. That will continue to be with you. Even till 2031, we will continue to be with you.
In his remarks, Governor Fubara highlights that the project, flagged off in May last year ahead of his inauguration, was redesigned to meet improved standards under his administration.
This project was flagged off by the previous administration. We took over this project, redesigned this project, and gave it the standard that it has today. This is because it is a project that has to do with me. It is a project that my people will see, and it speaks for me. So I'm happy that I'm here to inaugurate this project.
The special guest, Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State, commends the initiative, noting that the projects align with his vision of enhancing socio-economic growth through robust infrastructure development.
It is a cornerstone of economic growth as well as social progress. The Opobo Ring roads and bridges will undoubtedly enhance connectivity, promote trade, facilitate access to essential services for the residents of this area, as well as the entire environment.
The road is subsequently commissioned. This road will undoubtedly elevate the socio-economic status of the historic island of Opobo, unlocking its immense tourism potential.
We have more for you on the news at 10 as we head over to Abuja studios now, where Mark Ogun Yusuf is standing by to give us more. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Anne. Well, we are starting off from the northwest of the country, precisely in Kaduna State, where some bandits have laid down their arms in Giwa local government area under the non-kinetic initiative of the state government. They were received by the Chief of Staff to Governor Oba Sani, Mr. Sani Killer, during the reopening of the Kidandan cattle market in the area. Mr. Killer assured the repentant bandits that they will be protected and rehabilitated, while warning those who refuse to embrace peace that the law will catch up with them soon.
Relief is coming the way of the residents of Giwa local government area of Kaduna as the state government officially reopens the Kidandan cattle market, which has been closed for the past 10 years following cases of insecurity in the area. The reopening of the market underscores the Kaduna state government's efforts to restore peace in the area and other troubled local government areas in the state. The Chief of Staff to Governor Basani, Mr. Sani Killer, is in the local government to also receive some repentant bandits in the area.
All those who have agreed to lay down arms will be protected and rehabilitated. The reopening of Kidandan market will improve the economy of this area and create huge opportunities for the people of your local government area. I implore you to fully embrace one another. We are one people. We may have differences, but there are peaceful ways of resolving issues.
However, stakeholders believe that there is need for other recalcitrant bandits to make use of the opportunity of the peace dialogue to surrender.
We are from the same religion, from the same brotherly, from the same neighborhood, from the same community, from the same family, from the same tribe. Why can't we live in peace? There is no reason why we should be living in perpetual fear of insecurity. The government has done everything to make sure that the land is in peace, the state is in peace. We have to be sincere with this peace.
This is a remarkable achievement. We thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor, and the entire member of the Peace Committee. Today, we call it the Day of the Year. We have never witnessed this kind of thing for the past 5 years. You have seen what you have seen today. So it's a beginning of peace.
The reopening of the market follows a similar event in Bariningwari local government area of the state some weeks back, where some bandits also laid down their arms and embraced peace. The Kaduna state government is promising to continue to adopt a carrot and stick approach in the fight against insecurity to ensure that peace returns to the state.
While talking about the men and women who keep the peace, President Bola Tinubu has approved new terms and conditions for officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The new regulation was signed at the meeting of the Armed Forces Council, chaired by the President in the State House. The terms and conditions, which are usually reviewed every 5 years, were last reviewed in 2017. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru Abubakar says that this is in line with the administration's commitment towards supporting officers and men of the armed forces and to elicit their commitment to the service of protecting the nation. The Chief of Defense Staff also gave an update on the success being recorded against a new terror group called Lakurawa. Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has announced plans by the Nigerian Army to upskill kinetic and non-kinetic approach in addressing the challenges of insurgency in the country. He stated this during the annual Chief of Army Conference in Abuja. General Oluyede says the Army, in conjunction with other security agencies, remain committed to protecting lives and property of all citizens and residents. The Army Chief adds that the Nigerian Army remains steadfast and unwavering in addressing the security challenges bedeviling the nation.
It's the first annual Chief of Army Staff Conference under the leadership of Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede as the Chief of Army Staff.
Command Nigerian Army.
The conference presents a veritable platform for the assessment of the Nigerian Army's kinetic and non-kinetic operations, with special focus on evaluating the commitment of the Army to maintaining operational effectiveness.
The recent development in these theaters underscore the need for a meeting of this nature to enable us critically assess our operations and other activities with a view to bolstering our overall performance.
The Chief of Army Staff reiterates his commitment to protect Nigeria's sovereignty.
So far, we have had a large-scale surrender of terrorists and the submission of a substantial catch of arms and ammunition, which ordinarily might not have been possible through our kinetic efforts. To this end, the Nigerian Army will upscale both kinetic and non-kinetic efforts across all theaters in the coming year.
At a separate event, the Strategic Communications Interagency Policy Committee reeled out their achievements for the year.
The Armed Forces of Nigeria have conducted successful operations across key regions in Nigeria. And we have seen notable results under this period.
As expected, issues of security dominate the conference.
Just last week, we deployed a special operations brigade in the northwest of Nigeria, particularly because of the Lakurawa issue.
We have done strategic deployment, and our deployment across the country is not to intimidate anybody. It's for us to make sure all our routes, major highways, and communities are safe.
As the year 2024 winds down, spokespersons of the various security agencies appear united in their efforts to contain insurgency and all forms of security challenges confronting the nation.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's headline inflation rate climbs back above 34% in November, reaches new 28-year high amid skyrocketing cost of food and transportation. Well, that's business news. Please join us again.
Welcome back. Flour Mills of Nigeria's flagship food brand, Golden Penny, has launched its latest product, Yum Bowl. Golden Penny's Yum Bowl, which has been dubbed Wonder in a Bowl, is an instant cereal set to be the first of its kind, which has 7 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc and iron. The management of Flour Mills Nigeria is encouraging everyone to try the Yum Bowl, as it gives the very best of taste that kids will love and one of the whole family can enjoy.
Beautiful kids having a yummy time out with Flour Mills Nigeria PLC. It's all fun and games for the young ones. Some of their parents are also here, as well as partners, distributors, customers, friends, and consumers of the household products that Flour Mill parades.
As I do. Our vision is to be the leading B2B and B2C food company in Africa, #1 in Nigeria. And in B2C, we have 3 strategic pillars: building loved brands, a winning route to consumer, which involves all of you each and every day, and importantly, local content innovation.
2, 1. And the latest product in the Golden Penny family is launched to the delight of the crowd here.
Let's go!
Yum Bowl comes in 3 different flavors, and through different activities, the guests here get to interact with the product.
The Yum Bowl!
The management of flour mills speaks more about the new product and what more is to come.
The Yombo instant cereal is the first of its kind in the Nigerian market. It's all by magic. It adds 7 essential vitamins, including zinc and iron. What you just need to do is just to add water, and you see the magic.
Now we are targeting children, and that's because of the fun, excitement, the magic, the color changing. But like we know, our moms, our dads, our aunties, and our uncles can also take a scoop from Yombo instant cereal.
Within the top economic disposition we have, people want nutritional food, people have to eat well, they have to dine well, they have to live healthy, and we're bringing in products into the spaces where no one has ever crawled into before.
When we talk about Golden Penny, we talk about Golden Penny bringing 3 things in any category that it competes in. One of them is quality and value, the other one is nutrition, and then the thing that makes Golden Penny so special is the emotion, whether it's childhood or the family values.
Golden Penny is one of the largest food brands in Nigeria, offering great tasting and nutrition products, all at affordable prices.
In the oil and gas sector, the Japanese business community in Nigeria have pledged cooperation with the management of Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Company in order to grow the country's downstream subsector of the petroleum industry. The group, led by the Japanese ambassador designate to Nigeria, Mr. Suzuki Hideo, made the pledge after taking a tour of the world's largest single-train petroleum refinery in Lagos on Friday.
Visitation by different groups to the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Company continues at this time. Is a turn of the Japanese business community in Nigeria.
Itochu is a bit interested in off-taking fuel oil from your refinery.
Led by the country's ambassador designate to Nigeria, Mr. Suzuki Hideo, members are first briefed on the operations of the petrochemical complex.
Rotating from trucks.
The interaction provided an opportunity for them to ask questions, which were clarified by the Vice President, Dangote Group.
So I would like to know the timing of your PP polypropylene production. Also, understand the capacity is going to reach 900,000 in the future. But
polypropylene is ready for starting. That is why, in fact, yesterday you and my president joined the video conference to put pressure on TIMAC, the Japanese company, to sell their commissioning engineer.
After the short interaction, they head straight to see different parts of the gigantic project, which now runs at almost 100% capacity. After seeing what has been put on the ground, cutting across several kilometers of pipelines and cables, a large tank farm, control center, and a world-class laboratory, they gave their impression about the refinery.
Nigeria has growing the population rapidly, but not only the population, but also you have a good technology and good refinery in here.
There's much that Dangote and Itochu can do together, and part of those products that we are looking at, like he mentioned, polypropylene, and then also we could be looking at some petroleum product exports as well.
The Vice President, Dangote Group, Devakuma Edwin, gives more insights into the refinery's current state of production.
We already touched 90% capacity in our crude distillation unit. And many of the other units, the multi-spirit units, we have already far exceeded 100% capacity utilization. And in the diesel block, we have also day before yesterday, we touched 100%.
The Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Company, with an installed daily production capacity of 57 million liters of gasoline, is more than the nation's requirement of 24 million liters per day. Nigeria and Japan have maintained a cordial business relationship over the decades, resulting in billions of dollars worth of trade and investment, and the visit serves as another avenue that can further increase that advantage for both countries.
We'll continue in the world of business. This time, let's check out Nigeria's headline inflation rate. In the world of business, Joke Rogers is standing by. The
Thanks, Anne. In line with forecast by economic advisory firm Financial Derivatives Company, Nigeria's official headline inflation rate hit a 28-year high in November as it climbs back above 34%, which was last recorded in June this year. According to the latest report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, the benchmark CPI rose by 2.64% month-on-month against a 33.88% rate recorded in October, marking the third consecutive monthly increase. Key highlights of the inflation report shows that food inflation sub-index rose to 39.93%, while core inflation climbed higher to 28.75%. Let's look at more numbers as we head over to the local burst, which begins a new week before the Christmas holidays with moderate gains, with 35 advances against 24 decliners. Willie Bong has a summary of today's trading on the Nigerian exchange.
Hello and welcome to the stock market report. It's the trading week before Christmas and the NGX All Share Index appears to be bracing for a Santa rally, or should we say a dirty December now, maybe for investors. The All Share Index at intraday had regained the 100,000 level. We saw it rising at the close of business by 0.55%, but dropping back to 99,000, but still in green territory. Now looking at the drivers for today's performance, we see consumer goods is the outlier here, up 1.24%, and this is coming despite the suspension in flour mills trading shares. The NGX says the suspension is aiming to facilitate the delisting process for the company's securities, possibly help investors see how the company will perform better. Now, all eyes now on the federal government budget presentation, which is expected this week. We're hoping that it doesn't rattle the markets too much, and that's the stock market report. Will Ibong signing out.
Thanks, Will. Let's look at the global market figures for Monday. That's business news tonight. Back to you, Anne.
Thank you, Joke. Still to come on the news at 10, at least 1,000 people are feared dead on the French island territory of Mayotte in the Indian Ocean after a cyclone brought high wind speeds. Welcome back. Let's now head outside our shores to join Simon Pusa with other international news and around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. At least 1,000 people are feared to have died on the French island territory of Mayotte in the Indian Ocean after a cyclone brought wind speeds of up to 140 miles per hour. Police video shows uprooted trees and flattened homes after Cyclone Shido hit. And here the scale of the devastation from the air. Mayotte's prefect warns the number of killed may even reach several thousand. French authorities say the central hospital has suffered significant damage. It's the worst cyclone to hit the island in 90 years, with waves of up to 8 meters high. Mayotte is one of the poorest parts of France, with many of the 300,000 population living in shanty towns. The French Interior Minister here arriving on the island, promising to work with the EU to rebuild the territory. And here, French military video showing aid for the archipelago.
UNICEF is concerned about the immediate impacts of this cyclone, the loss of life, the damage to schools, to people's homes, to healthcare facilities. We're also worried about the longer-term impacts. Children potentially being cut off from learning for weeks on end, people unable to get access to healthcare, and the potential spread of waterborne diseases like cholera and malaria.
Two Russian oil tankers have been badly damaged in the Black Sea, causing an oil spill. Footage released by Russia's Southern Transport Prosecutor's Office showed the bow of one tanker completely broken off, with streaks of oil visible in the water. Both tankers are believed to have drifted before running aground offshore. At least one crew member was reportedly killed. The incident took place in the Kerch Strait, which separates Russia from Crimea. A rescue operation involving tugboats, helicopters and more than 50 personnel saw 13 crew members rescued from one tanker before being suspended due to bad weather. South Korea's Constitutional Court has begun trial proceedings for the impeachment of President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was suspended for declaring martial law and plunging his country into political turmoil. MPs voted to impeach Yoon last Saturday after his actions sparked widespread protests calling for him to step down. The court now has 6 months to decide whether to remove Yoon or reinstate him. Yoon's ruling People Power Party has been grappling with the fallout ever since, with its leader announcing his resignation on Monday. 7 foreigners in Fiji have been sent to hospital for suspected poisoning after drinking pina coladas at a 5-star resort bar. 5 are tourists, with 1 from the US and the rest from Australia, aged between 18 and 56. 2 others are foreigners living in Fiji, according to local media reports citing the health ministry. Some were previously reported to be seriously ill, but local officials said on Monday that their symptoms have since improved, and some were set to be discharged. Zakir Hussain, one of the world's greatest tabla players, has died at the age of 73. The Indian classical music icon died of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a lung disease, at a hospital in San Francisco. Hussain was a 4-time Grammy Award winner and has received the Padma Vibhushan, India's 2nd highest civilian award. Through his performances, he transformed the tabla into a globally loved solo instrument that was the star of the show. And the Indian teenager Gukesh Domaraju has made a triumphant return to India, arriving at southern Chennai airport to a huge fanfare and media frenzy. Gukesh became the youngest chess world champion by beating the defending champion Ding Liren of China in a dramatic turn of events in the last game of a 14-game match in Singapore. The new world champion at the age of 18 is 4 years younger than the previous youngest champion. The match was a 14-round long-time classical event with a prize fund of $2.5 million. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel studios in Lagos.
Well, thanks, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Super Eagles and Atalanta forward Ademola Lookman has been named the African Player of the Year at the prestigious Confederation of African Football Awards held in Marrakesh, Morocco. On a night celebrating the finest talents here on the continent, Lookman beat Ashraf Hakimi, Rowan Williams, Simon Adingra and Sergio Guirassy to win the award. In the meantime, Zambia's Barbara Banda emerged winner of the Women's Player of the Year awards at CAF. Nigeria's Super Falcons were crowned Women's National Team of the Year, while Goalkeeper of the Year award went to Super Falcons' Sefpe Hans of Chiamaka Nadozie. That sports is back to Anne.
Thank you, Kelly. And the main news again. The EFCC today announced a landmark arrest of 729 suspects in one fell swoop for offences bordering on cryptocurrency investment, fraud and romance scam. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Have a good night rest.